Welcome back, guys. So this is part 2 of object-oriented programming in C++. If you haven't seen the first video, make sure to check that out because I go over how to create a class. And for that particular class, we created a constructor. We also created a method to display the info of the object that we will create. So we created an object called emp1 of employee, and we gave it some parameters. And then we use the method of that class to display the info. So if I run the program, it prints all the info of the object onto the console. So for this particular video, I'm going to go over inheritance and polymorphism in object-oriented programming. So what we're going to do is we're going to create another class called intern. And we're going to inherit the attributes of employee with the full name, position, and ID. And we're going to use polymorphism to inherit the methods of the employee that we will create later on. But first things first, let's create the class intern. Alright, so we created the class intern. So now we're going to use a colon to inherit all the attributes from the employee class. So we're also going to type in public employee. Everything that goes inside this class, we're going to make it public. So let's type in public. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a constructor of intern. And we're going to inherit the attributes of employee. We're going to use the full name, position, and ID as well for the intern class. So let's go ahead and do this. Okay, so we created the constructor. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to also add the employee constructor. But first we're going to need to add the colon. Okay, so we have everything set up for the intern class. We have the constructor. So let's go ahead down here and we're going to create an object of intern. But first let's create a new line. This is the name of the object, and you can name it whatever you like. But for this video, I'm going to name it intern1. So now we're going to give it parameters. So the name of this intern would be, let's say, Lena. Now her position is designer. And then her ID would be 9098. And we're gonna close it. Okay, so we created the object of intern. So now let's display this info onto the console. So let's see. Actually, this one go down here. So the display info method belongs to the employee class, but we can also use it in our intern class because we added the colon and we inherited all the attributes from the employee class. So if you run the program, you should be able to see all the info of intern 1 onto the console. So let's run it. And as you can see, it did work. So the first employee is Cav Programmer and his ID is 2323. And then the intern object is Lena. She's designer and her ID number is 9898. We also have it on the console here. So it did work. So this is what is known as inheritance in object-oriented programming. So the next thing we're going to go over is polymorphism. We're going to create a method in the employee class, and then we're going to use that method in the intern class, but we're going to change that method in the intern class to display something else. So you'll see what I mean in a minute. So let's go up here into the employee class. We're going to create another method. Let's say we're going to call this method label, because we're going to label the employee as employee. Alright, so that's just the method label of the employee class. So let's run it down here. Let's see. MP1 label. Let's run the program. So in the console, under the employee, it says this person is an employee, so that we have Cav as the programmer and his ID number. So that we're going to change the label method in the intern class, that we're going to display that this person, Lena, is an intern. So let's go ahead and do that. So we could just simply copy and paste. So we're going to take this. Let's go here. And we're gonna paste it, and this person is an intern. We're gonna go down here and also label the intern. Now let's run the program. And as you can see on the console, it displays differently. So now it says this person is an intern. So this is what is known as polymorphism in object-oriented programming. You can inherit the attributes from the base class, which is the employee, as you use in your secondary class, which is the intern, which is very useful when it comes to creating video games or creating programs. So that's pretty much about it for this video. And if you found it helpful, make sure to leave a thumbs up. And if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments down below. And make sure to check out that first video, because in the first video I'll go over how to create this class employee, and I can also go over how to create a constructor and methods. So I thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.